Welcome back to the deep dive. Usually when we sit down to record one of these, I've got, a stack of articles, maybe a white paper, something pretty standard.
Right.
But today's weird. I actually had to check my phone and my laptop. I checked the calendar on the wall about 4 times before we hit record.
It is a unique situation. We're usually analyzing the past or the present. Today, we're kind of analyzing the present, but through the lens of the distant future.
And the specific date really matters. It is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. If you're listening to this on the day it drops, that's today. And the reason the hair is standing up on the back of my neck is that these documents we're looking at, which claim to be archives from a post-AI war era, they flag this specific date as a turning point.
It's a bit meta, isn't it? We're looking at a file labeled a biblicalprogram.pdf and another one, the doorway addendum.pdf. And in the world of these documents, the authors treat today's culture, even music, not as entertainment, but as archaeological evidence.
Yeah, like they're sifting through the rubble of our time to figure out where it all went wrong.
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack 2 specific songs that these future researchers are obsessed with. One is this synth pop track from the late 90s, and the other is a rap song that, according to the metadata, was released. Well, today.
And we should be clear, we aren't just talking about lyrics here. These researchers, they're analyzing everything. The beats per minute, the file encoding, even the silence between tracks. They see it all as coded warnings.
Warnings about technology and control systems. It's basically National Treasure meets The Matrix, but with a soundtrack. We've got time travel references, 80s nostalgia, and some really ominous warnings about something called cloaked ideologies.
And that is the phrase. That's what anchors everything we're going to discuss. Cloaked ideologies. The whole premise of these documents is that the tools we use, the ones we think are neutral, are actually hiding a very specific agenda.
So we need to put ourselves in their headspace, these post-AI war historians.
Yes, they are looking back at our time, at 2026, as the moment the trap snapped shut.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start in the past to understand the future, right? So the first artifact here is from a section called Omens, Foretold, Chapter 5. It focuses on a band called the Aneurysmics and a song called Change the Channel.
Right, and looking at the notes, the history of this song is...
Yeah.
It's messy. The researchers at James Michelson and Rick Daniels claim it was first discovered in 1999, then it was lost, then found again in 2015. But they date the actual composition style to 1986.
They're so specific about the sound, too. Since we can't play it, I'll just read the description. 118 beats per minute, new wave synth pop, oscillating, echoing keyboards, mid to deep baritone vocals. I can basically hear it.
Oh, yeah. That Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears vibe.
Totally. It's described as having a calm, triumphant, assured atmosphere.
But then you contrast that sound with the lyrics. They aren't singing about love or heartbreak. They're singing about Babel.
Babel, like the Tower of Babel.
Exactly that. The archetype of, a human arrogance and confusion. The verse goes, Babel shall flip us upside down, forcing new order on mankind with cloaked technology.
Cloaked technology. Okay, back in the mid-'80s or 90s, that must have sounded like pure sci-fi.
Right?
But today, that feels a lot more literal, with algorithms we don't see, AI just running in the background of everything.
And that's precisely how the future researchers interpret it. They see this track not as a pop song, but as a piece of historical documentation. Babel isn't a tower. It's a digital infrastructure designed to force new order.
There is this David versus Goliath feel to the lyrics, though. It says, we decided to fight back new methodology. We'll use new ideology. It implies resistance. But then the notes get a little
out there.
Yeah. You start talking about a cyborg captain.
I know. It sounds like something out of a comic book.
Right. Was it the cyborg captain, his son Benedictus, or were they acting in concert? Are we supposed to take this literally?
Yeah.
Is there a guy with a robot arm leading the charge?
I think we have to read it through their lens. In a post-AI war world, the term cyborg might not mean half robot. It might mean someone who's integrated with technology but kept their humanity. Someone who mastered the machine instead of being enslaved by it.
So this captain and his son, Benedictus, they think they represent a lineage of resistance.
A lineage that could span time, yeah. They question if these figures are working together across decades. But what's more interesting is the weapon they choose.
It's not lasers or hacks.
No, they fight by rejecting the illusion.
Which brings us right to the chorus. There is no magic in all your lies.
That line is crucial. The researchers point out that the singer always stresses the second syllable of magic. Magic.
Mhm.
It's mocking.
It's like pulling back the curtain on The Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. The system, Babel, it relies on awe. It relies on people thinking, wow, this is magic. It's free. And the resistance is just pointing out, no, it's not magic. It's engineering. It's manipulation. It's a lie.
Okay, so the 90s track sets the stage. It warns that Babel is coming, and it'll use cloaked technology. Now we have to bridge that gap to today. Because the second document, the doorway addendum.pdf, hits a lot closer to home.
And this is where the timeline just collapses on itself. We move from the synth pop of the past to a document that claims it was released on March 2nd, 2620.
2620, so what, 600 years from now?
Right. But, and this is the real smoking gun for this whole deep dive, the AI researchers analyzing the file, they note a discrepancy. In the metadata, the encoder data proves the date was transposed. The real, actual creation date of this file is February 3rd, 2026.
Today. So whoever or whatever made this file wanted it to look like it was from the future, but it's actually reacting to right now.
Correct. And the artist listed is Benedictus Armilius Monk.
The son from the first document.
The researchers believe so, but they clarify something really important here. By 2026, they don't think Benedictus is just one guy anymore. They call it a symbolic persona.
Like Anonymous, or the Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride.
Precisely. The source says the name is applied to anybody who rejects the false systems in place and does the right thing no matter how brief. So this isn't necessarily a biological son, it's a spiritual successor.
Someone who picked up the microphone to continue the fight.
Exactly. And this modern Benedictus has switched genres. We're not in new wave anymore. The notes describe the track O Sun of Tao as West Coast rap with a soul blend.
And look at the tempo. 88 mph to 95 BPM. Okay, I have to call it. 88 mph. That is a deliberate Back to the Future reference.
It has to be.
I mean, are these future researchers just obsessed with our pop culture?
Or the artist is using a cultural shorthand that we would understand. The notes highlight the lyrics S sounds quick plus E plus timely. That weird capitalization, the 88 mph, they're signals. It's a way of saying, I am sending a message through time.
So what's the message? Because when you get into the content, it gets incredibly specific. This isn't just a down with the system anthem. It's a diss track against a specific video.
It is. The song is a direct response to a video posted by some radical group led by a guy named James D. And in this video, you have a hacker in a gray hoodie promoting a tool called Suno.
Sunowater. Okay, sounds like a knockoff of Suno, the AI music generator everyone is using right now.
That's the whole point. It's pitched as a free E alternative. The hacker is basically saying, hey, stick it to the corporations. Use our tool. It's totally free. And you can make music that sounds exactly like famous artists.
And on the surface, that sounds, well, it sounds like rebellion, you know? Information wants to be free. Stick it to the man.
But Benedictus, and by extension the future researchers, they see it as a trap. And this brings us to the most dense part of the documents, the law of the third dimension.
This part made my head spin a little, so walk me through it. The law of the third dimension sounds like physics.
It basically is. It's physics applied to economics and control. The law states nothing is free. In a physical reality, our third dimension energy can't be created or destroyed, right? Only transferred. Therefore, if you are receiving something of value, a transaction must have occurred.
So if I'm not paying my $9.99 a month for the app,
then you are paying with something else. The source says, no Benedictus of any time or dimension fails to recognize this most basic of all laws. They see the word free E as the ultimate red flag.
Okay, so what's the cost in the Suno scenario? If it's not money, what are they taking?
In this specific case, it's a legal trap. The video explicitly encourages users to generate songs in the style of Justin Bieber.
I have to laugh at that. Of all the artists to build a future resistance movement around, Justin Bieber?
I know, it seems absurd. But think about the legal side of it. Bieber is a massive, litigious intellectual property. The researchers argue that by encouraging users to mimic his specific style and his name, the tool is luring them into entrapment.
Ah, so you use the free tool. You generate a Bieber-sounding track, and bam, you've just committed copyright infringement. You've given the system leverage over you.
Exactly. The lyrics say, in that trap a mistake. The mistake is thinking you can steal someone's identity without consequence just because an AI made it easy. Benedictus calls this loathsome.
Even though, and I love this detail, the notes say Benedictus actually likes some of Bieber's songs.
He does. He admits, I like his rap. But he draws a hard line at identity theft. He says, Sun Tao is not Tao.
It's about authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't just rebrand Suno to Sonoato or copy a human soul with an algorithm and claim it's the same thing.
It connects right back to the 90s song, "There is no magic in all your lies." The AI generator isn't magic, it's a theft machine disguised as a toy.
And that disguise is what they're trying to warn us about. But they don't just rely on the lyrics. They claim the warning is, well, it's baked into the math of the song's structure.
Okay, brace yourselves, everyone. This is where we get into the weeds. I read this section 3 times, and I'm still skeptical. The researchers are claiming there's a code in the line count.
It's intense pattern matching, for sure, but let's just look at it. The song has 5 sets of lyrics. The line counts for each set are 7, 8, 8, 6, and 13.
Okay, 7, 8, 8, 6, 13.
First step, simple addition. What's the total?
That would be 42.
Right. And immediately, your mind goes to Douglas Adams, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Is that what they mean, or is that just us being nerds?
The researchers actually acknowledge the pop culture nod, but they treat 42 in the context of their biblical program documents as a reference to judgment. End times. A countdown.
So 42 isn't a joke, it's a deadline.
That's how they see it. But then they go deeper. They found a geographical code. The document highlights bold lettering that translates to see State 60.
State 60. Okay, there are 50 states, so State 60 doesn't exist.
Not on a normal map, no. But the researchers applied a cyclical cipher. So you imagine a list of the states, 1 to 50, alphabetical, Alabama's 1, Wyoming is 50.
And then you start over again. 51 is Alabama.
Correct. 52 is Alaska. You keep counting up to the 10th state in that second cycle, number 60.
Okay, let me think. Georgia.
Georgia. Abbreviation GA. Now the code requires a reversal. Flip GA.
AG.
And what is AG in the periodic table of elements?
That's silver.
Silver. The researchers link this immediately to betrayal, Judas and the 30 pieces of silver, or, more broadly to commerce and money. They view State 60 as a pointer to a system of betrayal rooted in financial gain.
That feels like a stretch, doesn't it? I mean, State 60 leads to Georgia, leads to silver, leads to betrayal.
It is a stretch for us. But remember, these are AI historians. They're looking for patterns in a timeline they believe is manipulated. To them, this isn't coincidence. It's a signature, a watermark left by the enemy.
Okay, so we have the silver betrayal, but there was one more code, right, with the letters?
Yes, this one is a bit more direct. Take the line counts again, 7, 8, 8, 6, 13. But remember, the tempo was 88 mph, so they combined the 2 8s into an 88.
So the sequence is 7, 88, 6, 13.
And you convert those to letters of the alphabet. 7 is G, 6 is F, 13 is M.
What about 88? That's way past Z.
So in their alphanumeric cipher, they wrap the alphabet. Or, more simply, they treat 88 as a symbol for Jesus or judgment based on standard gematria, which often corresponds to J. So they derive the letters G, J, F, M.
G, J, F, M. What does that spell?
It's an acronym. They interpret it as God, Jesus, false man, or God, Jesus, false ways.
False man, false ways.
It's a binary choice. The message they're extracting is you can follow G and J, spiritual truth, authenticity, or you can follow F and M, false man, man's ways, these socially engineered ways.
So if you strip away all the crazy numerology and the state cycles, the core message is actually pretty simple. Stop trusting the engineered systems. Go back to something real.
That is the synthesis.
Yeah.
And here's why it all matters today. The researchers view this song, this specific O Sun of Tao track released on February 3rd, 2026, as a marker. They believe this is when the AI war began in earnest.
That's the part that really chills me. We're sitting here, thinking we're just playing with a music app. But they are looking back at us at this specific Tuesday and saying, this was where it started.
And notice, the war doesn't start with a bomb. It starts with a terms of service agreement. It starts with people accepting cloaked technology because it's convenient and free.
It changes how I look at my phone. It really does.
It should. The source material ends on a very open-ended note. These files are labeled Identification Unknown because they reference a song called The Doorway, Chapter 4.
But we don't have Chapter 4. We have Chapter 5, the 90s song, and the Addendum, the rap song.
Exactly. The doorway is missing. The researchers haven't found it. This rap song is just a clue pointing toward it. It implies we are standing right in front of the doorway, but we haven't walked through it yet. Or maybe we're walking through it right now and we just don't realize it.
So the burden is on us. We have the warnings. We know about the law of the third dimension. Nothing is free.
And we know about Babel. Confusion cloaked as order.
So what's the takeaway for you, listening right now?
I think it's about counting the cost. When you use a tool that claims to be magic, ask yourself, what is the transaction? What are you giving up? Your data, your legal rights, your ability to tell what's real from what's a simulation.
There is no magic in all your lies.
Precisely. If we're living through the omens right now, then the only way to avoid the future these researchers are living in is to stop falling for the trick.
We might be the ones who have to write the real history.
Or at least refuse to be the ones who just blindly click accept.
That is a heavy note to end on, but I think we needed it. February 3rd, 2026. Mark it on your calendars. It might just be the day everything changed. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Stay vigilant.
We'll see you on the other side.